Everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me clearly. If you do, please say hi. Also, while we wait for other people to join, I would love to hear where you guys joining us from. So definitely write in the chat or comment if you're rewatching it as a video. Where are you joining us from? And we'll just wait a second for other people to join in. Hello.
Hey.
Hope you can see me and hear me.
Yes, everything's working good.
Perfect. Okay, shall we start?
I think so.
Well, hello. Welcome to first ever MBS D.A talk. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Maria and I'm the person behind MBS Design Atelier. And today I'm with my friend Rebecca.
I'm gonna introduce myself as well. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Well, my name is Rebecca. I'm from Vienna and I'm currently studying interior architecture in Vienna. And I'm entering my last year of studying interior architecture here.
Very cool. We actually met through TikTok.
Yes.
Rebecca posted, I was following Rebecca before, and she posted that she's coming to Barcelona for an exchange. And I just, commented, I was like, oh, damn, how cool. And we basically started talking, and we found out that she was not only coming to my university, my class, but also my group and my year. So we ended up studying together and becoming friends.
Yes.
So,
Social media
yes.
friends and long distance friends.
Exactly. Okay, well, tell us more about your uni before we get to the whole Erasmus exchange. Tell us more about your university because you did almost 3 years there, well, 2 full years now. So, how was the whole process of applying there first? And yeah, just tell us about your uni.
Well, I started, I think, in the year 2022. I did like something else for 2 years before that, so I didn't really know what I want to do after school. So that's why I did something completely else. And like in the course of that, kind of like researched a lot about interior design, what you can do, like which unis are there. And unfortunately, it's the only university in Austria you can kind of like get a bachelor's degree in. So, I mean, it's nice and all, but yeah. And like the whole process of applying, well, first of all, you have to get like a portfolio with 10 to 15 works, whatever you want to do. And then there's also an entrance exam, but it was more like just writing and also working. So it was not like a test, it was like doing projects and like showing your portfolio and just talk with the head of the department. So it was a pretty chill entrance exam. So yeah.
We had a very long entrance exam in Barcelona. I think it took like half of a day. It was literally 5 hours long exam. We didn't have to do portfolio, thanks God.
Oh.
But yeah, but we had a very, very long entrance exam. So
But
yeah.
what did you have to do?
Oh, it was a bunch of like writing, drawing, and yeah, just like related things.
Yeah.
But it was just very, very long. That's all I can remember. But yeah, and what about your schedule? How do the classes look like in Vienna?
Well, the first semester, I don't know, I can kind of like go through the years kind of because the first semester is very, very packed. We have classes almost like every day from like 9 to 5 or 6. So we spend the whole day in the uni, and it's like we have one subject a day. So you can just focus on that, which is completely different to Barcelona, which we're gonna talk about.
Get to that.
Yeah. But yeah, like the first and second semester was pretty intense. You have to be at uni like every day. And also you have attendance. In most of the subjects. I mean, it's like 70%, but still, I mean,
Okay.
it's important as well. So yeah. And I mean, in the third semester, I've been abroad. The fourth semester is also, it was a bit less, but still, it's like 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week where you have to be at uni like the whole day. But I mean, you also like do a lot of the work you have to present at uni. So I mean, of course, there's always so much to do at home as well, but still you work on that in class anyway. And now that I'm in the 5th semester, which is the final year, it's a lot less. We have like 2 days a week, but I mean, we have to write the theoretical bachelor thesis, so it's a lot.
That's a lot.
But let's see, it's only the 2nd week, so
Yes, well, in Barcelona we have 4 years. So the first year, the first semester of the first year, we will actually mix with other degrees. So the first semester wasn't really interior design related. It was sort of like graphic design, product design, just general introduction to design, which was good, but I didn't enjoy that much. And then the second semester we sort of got introduced to AutoCAD and started doing interior design related stuff.
yeah.
And then the second year you joined in for the first semester, and that was, more interior design related, which was nice. But yeah, in Barcelona, the schedule is completely different because we cannot miss more than 2 classes per subject. And we have about 7 classes per semester, 5 times a week. So first year we were coming from 8 to 11 or 2:30. So it was quite intense. And when you were there on the second year, it was very, very intense as well.
Yeah.
But definitely it was similar to what you said, the 4th semester, which is the second semester of the second year, was also a little bit more relaxed-ish, let's say. So that's quite similar. And what about grading? How is it in Vienna? Because in Barcelona, we were graded,
Yeah.
well, we can get to that, but the grades are coming, almost every week from all the subjects.
We have at my university, we have like grades at the end of every semester. So we just work the whole semester. We have like specific, I mean, we have presentations in between, but they're not graded. It's just like to show the process, and so everyone's on the same page basically, and we can work from that. So, and also we have like A to F. So we grade from 1 to 6, which is also different from Barcelona because you grade from like 1 to 10.
1 to 10, yes.
With 1 being the worst.
You fail, yeah, exactly. You fail, I think, from 4, I believe, or like 3 something.
Well, for us, 1 is the best, so it's
okay. Well, that's different.
But it's like in school. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Was in school like
I think it's more similar to London, because here also they only have 1 submission per module.
Yeah.
So we will have a tutoring meetings, but there will be only 1 final grade. Whereas in Barcelona, we have several submissions from each subject. So we have 7 subjects, and from each of them, we have from 3 to, I would say, 7, maybe sometimes 10 smaller submissions. So at the end, those grades like add up to your final grade from the specific subject. So it's not that easy to fail that. But on the other hand, you have to show up to every single submission, because it's not only an online submission, but also a presentation, digital presentation mostly, sometimes a model or printed one, but generally presentation that you have to present, on a screen. So that's different. Whereas here in London, it's only just submitting it. It's also a lot of writing. So that's definitely different.
Yeah, I'm still not sure which one I prefer, like having the little gradings in between, because then you kind of always have to keep up. Because here it sometimes happens at my university that like, oh, you forgot to do it, and Like, I don't know, you just keep all the work until the end. But
I'm
yeah,
very curious, how is it going to be like here in London comparing to my home university? Because it's completely different. And I'm curious, how am I gonna like it? Is it better to have like one final submission that you have to focus on? I hope I'm not gonna leave it to the very end. But definitely, having grades throughout the semester is like a bit more motivating because you have to work for the submission. So
yeah. But
we'll
that's
see
also
how.
different because you in Barcelona, it was always like having the little presentations in between which make up the grade, whereas here it's like you have like one final presentation in every subject and that's it. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of nice, but also kind of not.
Yes, it's definitely stressful when you get to the
Yeah.
end. And also, how big is your class in Vienna? Because in Barcelona, I believe we're like 15 girls in a
Yeah.
group. There's two groups, so in total it's like 30-ish interior design students in English, but our group itself was like 15 girls. And now in London, my class is over 100 people.
It's insane.
So that's a very, very big change. So also, how's it for
Well,
you?
I think we're like 45 in a class.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, it kind of sounds a lot, but it doesn't feel a lot because like in the beginning we also got split into two groups, but it was like we had some classes, both groups together. But still we were split into two because I think the teachers or something, I don't know. But now that we're like in the last year, we're like almost like we have class of 45 of us. I don't know, kind of doesn't seem that big when you're in a classroom. And also we have like this huge workspace where everyone is just working on their project. Like, I mean, depends of if you're doing it alone or in a pair or something, but everyone's just like minding their business, doing their work from 9 to 6. And yeah, I don't know, it's just
Crazy. When they told us that there would be 100 people in our class, we sort of were like, oh my God, how? But it doesn't seem that much. I mean, it is a lot and it feels like a
yeah.
lot. But when you're in that class, it's like manageable, let's say. But there is, separated desk and that people sit, and there is, I think, like 5 monitors in the class because not everyone can even see the teacher presenting.
Oh
So there's
God.
like, several monitors around the classroom so everyone can see and follow up with the
What?
presentation. Yeah, it's insane. And then they divide us into groups sometimes, but it's a lot of people, that's for sure. And it's weird because in Barcelona it feels very personal. Of course, the teacher
Mm,
knows your name, knows your face. You have to show up. They check the attendance as if it's,
yeah,
normal class. Here, they don't even know all the faces, I'm pretty sure,
of
not
course.
even gonna mention the names. And we have to, sign a sheet of paper with our name as a attendance.
Yeah.
So it's very, very weird, but it's an experience, that's for sure.
But do you have
And
attendance in your university in London? Like you
it,
have to be there?
in theoretically, yes, in theory, yes. But for most of the classes, we have to sign our name on a paper in a classroom. But it's not as strict in Barcelona because in Barcelona, if you're 15 minutes late to a class,
Oh,
you're
really?
already absent. And then if you're absent more than 2 times, you already failed the subject. So you can't even miss a whole week because 1 week is already, the classes are repeating sometimes twice a week. So you can't miss a week of class. Whereas
Yeah.
here, they obviously told us you're supposed to come to the classes and they check the attendance. But I think it's similar to your university. I think we also get like 70%.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you did your Erasmus exchange. How did you decided on doing that? What was your reason to try that? And what was
Yeah.
the reason to choose Barcelona?
Well, um, I don't know. I always had the drive to go somewhere else. And like before searching for like a uni in Vienna, I was like, I always knew I want to go abroad. But I think I was just a bit too young to do it at that age for like 4 years. Like I couldn't imagine it at that time, but I always knew I want to live someplace else for at least a short period of time. So it was kind of a criteria for choosing my university that they do Erasmus, and I was always looking at like the cities they offer and stuff before even applying, and then I knew I either gonna do it in the 3rd or 5th semester. And I don't know, it was so crazy when it came down to it, like really applying to do Erasmus, and like it was so, I don't know, I cannot describe it. I think you know how it feels. We also had to choose like 3 unis, so we had to list them like our top 3, and wherever they take us, we're gonna go. So I put Barcelona on my top 1, and I'm so happy I got it. I mean, honestly, they didn't offer so many nice cities. I really wanted to go to a big city because, yeah, for obvious reasons, and Barcelona was one of the nicest ones. So I don't know. I never thought about moving and living in Spain, so I didn't know what to expect. But I mean, turned out to be such a nice time. Yeah.
Yes. Did you enjoy your experience, and do you think you learn more through that experience?
Well, definitely. I mean, I don't know, it was the first time. I mean, of course, I lived on my own before that already, like not with my parents, but still I could go home like every weekend or something, and I did that as well. So that was definitely something different because I couldn't see them every week, and I was just like on my own. Of course, I mean, I had some people I talked to, you, for example, but still,
Yes,
it's
but it was
like,
also so busy.
yeah. So I don't know, I learned so much like for life, but also for like from uni, because
Mhm.
uni in Barcelona is kind of completely different. I mean, not completely,
Yeah,
but
exactly,
very
because you're
different.
studying also interior architecture
Yeah.
course, and here you came for interior design course for your exchange. Was there any difference that you saw in between that?
Well, yeah, honestly, in the beginning, I never really understood what is the difference between interior architecture and interior design, but I think I only got to know it like during studying abroad, because I noticed that we learn different stuff. So, I mean, well, one thing that really stood out for me in during my Erasmus was definitely learning a lot about the materials and stuff. So we don't
Mhm.
really do that. And also, I think studying in Barcelona was like the uni was more open towards design in general. Whereas
You
I
mean like
think,
more abstract or?
yeah, because I think in my university it's like very technical because it's
Mhm.
interior architecture. So we study a lot about like the construction of stairs and doors, and
Uh,
I don't know, it's very technical. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what I prefer more because both is very interesting. So a combination of both is perfect, I think.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think it's good that you had that, 1 semester
Yeah,
experience of learning more in-depth knowledge, for example, about the materials, maybe a bit more like graphic representations,
yeah,
because I feel
that's
like the
true.
uni
Yeah,
in Barcelona is focusing a lot on like graphic design, let's say,
yeah,
because the presentations are important. We have to present as if we're presenting in front of like an official client, so the presentation have to be very clean, very nice design,
yeah,
etc.
true.
But then I feel like because you're studying interior architecture and it's a little bit more maybe related with architecture, I feel like you're gonna have a little bit more in-depth knowledge, and maybe you're gonna be more, better at doing like a technical stuff within your interior design and like actually designing all the details. So I think, yeah, I think that's very
Mhm.
nice and good for you.
Well, that's also like a difference, as you said, because like the graphic stuff at your university in Barcelona is very important. I mean, it's also important at our university, but I mean, we every semester, like it's also structured differently. Like we have like one big project in the semester, which is kind of the focus, and then we have like different subjects like AutoCAD and SketchUp and stuff that's just helping to do like the project. And the project is like, I mean, you have to like do a lot of stuff around it, like also do presentation and stuff, but we always have to do a model, like with the proper materials you need for that, and also like laser cut and whatever kind of revolves around the model. I don't know, it depends on the professors what they prefer, but as for now it's not been that digital. I don't know. I think in the third semester, where I haven't been at uni because I was abroad, it was kind of digital because they like wanted to have renderings and not really any model. But the rest of the semesters always like they prefer model over the renderings, which is
You actually got in the semester that we did the most modules, because I think we did together. Yeah, we did one module together, and then there was a second. Well, we actually did three. We did 1:1 scale chair, cardboard chair. Then we did a module together, which was a section module, and then we did a third module, which was our own house designs. And that was all in one semester, like 3 different modules. And that's the most like the fourth semester, the next semester after you left, I mean, it was all about 3D. We started doing Rhino, and it was all digital again. So you actually got to our uni where we did the most, technical, like physical modules, which we don't really do actually.
But it was.
And did you felt? Yeah.
No, I just wanted to talk about the 1:1 model we did, which was, I mean, it was a model, but it was totally different. Because I mean, we built a furniture piece.
Exactly, it's really even more about it's even more of a like a product design rather than specifically interior. I mean, it is related to interior, but that was definitely an interesting experience, because with the small modules, it just need to look good and stand. But that one we had a lot of troubles with sitting on it. So that was a fun exercise, but it was also interesting to understand your own size with relation to the model. So at first we did like a smaller module to design the shape and like just design the chair itself, but then figuring out how big it should be. And also I feel like I didn't realize that 1.5 meter chair is actually going to be huge. So those we definitely had. I think we had the biggest one.
I think
it was
so too.
It was very big.
I mean, it's a chair, so
yeah, exactly. It was like a large chair. Yeah, that was a good experience. Well, and going back to the course structure, did you felt like there was a difference in the course structure comparing to your university?
Yes, because at my university we have the same courses the whole semester. I mean, and also the schedule is different every week, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on whenever they put the courses.
And it's very strange because in Barcelona they very, I thought they are very Spanish and very unprepared.
Yeah, true.
But turned out that they're very organized, because we have, specific schedule. Each class is like you get the specific time. It's really well organized. So you get a 3 hours lecture with 10 or 15 minutes in between break for coffee. Then we get only 15 minutes break in between the next class, which is again 3 hours with 10 minutes break. And then we get half an hour lunch break. So it's very organized, and every day is the same. It's just a different class type, like a different class name, different teacher. Whereas here in London, we have one portal, which is like general about like your documents and like being in England, being in the English university system. And then we have like additional different places where we can see the courses, the timetable-ish, which is basically them dropping in like a Word file with, you know, the time, or sometimes just the class name and like the day. So it's divided into weeks. So I'm here on one semester, and I will be doing module 5 and module 6. And right now I'm in the module 5, which is 5 weeks, and we have one final submission after that. So they basically divide it into, you know, the module 5 is 5 weeks. So we have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And then it also changes because the classes in theory, each day is, you know, specific class, but then it also changes and we have like different classes. So it's weird because it's quite unpredictable and it's hard to plan, because also sometimes we come to a lecture and they'll be like, okay, after an hour, they'll be like, okay, now you have half an hour break for your coffee. And then you come back for another 30 minutes presentation. And then they are like, okay, now you have a 1 hour and 15 minutes lunch break. And then you have to come back for another 1.5 hour lecture. So it feels very random, and I feel unprepared. And I don't know if it's me because I'm an exchange student and I don't know what's happening. But when we talk to the other classmates, they're also a bit confused. So it's very interesting how it's working.
It's kind of
It's also
reversed.
Exactly.
Because Spain is like super organized, and then England is like super
Exactly. I completely
crazy.
didn't expect it this way. I thought it's gonna be like super organized here. Like I thought it's gonna be, yeah, the other way around. It's also weird because the teachers here, there's I think 5 teachers, and they all sit on all of the lectures. So one of them is presenting and the other 4 are sitting and watching and like sometimes working on their laptops, but they're sitting in the lecture with us, just listening to the presentation of the other teacher, which is very, very interesting. And I don't know if it's because there's, you know, so many people, but it's a little bit weird.
I mean, it's kind of, now that I think about it, like we also sometimes have like especially in like the projects, we have like almost 3 or 4 people as well that kind of like just, I mean, it's mostly 1 or 2 people that just explain everything and are like the head of the whole project. And then there's like 2 or 3 other people that are just here to help and guide. Like we have, when we are working on a project, we have like, we can put ourselves into like time slots where we can talk to either one of them for some feedback and stuff. So I mean, I get it why there's like 3 or 4 people, because like they're helping us.
I think there, because it's similar here in London, and I think maybe it's because there is, you know, the group is so big that one teacher cannot, you know, check on everyone. Because here's the same, we can also book like a individual tutoring with the teacher if we need that. And apparently next week we will start like a tutoring in smaller groups so that we can, you know, get some feedback. Because when there's so many people, it's impossible to ask like personal questions about your own design. So that's also quite, you know, different.
Yeah, true.
Because in Barcelona we have one teacher per subject, and because we're only small group, they all obviously know our faces, know our name, and they know all of our projects. Because some of the classes are presentations, some of the classes you work in class, and then you get, because it's 3 hours, everyone gets their own, most of the time, everyone gets their time to speak to the teacher, get feedback. So obviously they follow up with your whole process. So, you know, the teacher know you, know your project, and they know your design process. Whereas here, I feel there is so many people that they can't, you know, keep track of everyone and everyone's design. So for example, here, what I found out when they showed us like an example of the submission, they were asking more about your design process, and they're asking to show, you know, even if you design something, but then you change it, you have to explain why you decide to change it, why you think it will fail, or why you change it in the way that you did it, and how you came to the final design. Whereas in Barcelona, for the final presentation, we just most of the time show the final, maybe like one slide of like the design process. Whereas here, I feel like they want to see the whole process because they don't know how you work and how you design.
Well, that's the same kind of with us, because like at our final presentation, we also mostly show just the final product. It always depends on the people that are tutoring. But I mean, we have small presentations in between where we show our progress, so everyone's like up to speed. Like next week, I already have like a small presentation, so it's just like working.
But do you do it in your like smaller tutoring groups, or is it in front of the whole class, or just one-to-one with the
I
teacher?
think that's gonna be in front of the whole class.
Okay,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine because like on presentation days, they're not we are not expected to sit like the whole time in class.
Yeah.
I mean, of
That's
course,
a lot of people.
Yeah, because I mean, it's fine as well. I don't know, you kind of blur other people out.
Yeah.
But I haven't really thought about it that I have to stand in front of everyone alone because we only did projects in pairs or in groups until now. But this semester we decided to do it alone, so let's see if I'm gonna get nervous or not. But it's fine. It's just like a 5-minute presentation, so that's it.
Okay, no, then that's fine. But do you present a lot as well? Because in Barcelona, every submission is a presentation. I mean, the group is small, so it is still stressful. We have a nice class, so I got used to it. I'm not as nervous, but it's still, you still have to stand in front of, a group of people, in front of the teacher, and show your work and try at least to explain like what is your design process and what were you thinking with it. So do you present all of them or just the finals?
I don't know. Well, no, it's mostly presenting as well. It depends on the subject because we have like SketchUp and AutoCAD classes. We don't have to present there. But the rest,
same for us.
like wherever you can present, you present. But it's definitely not as much presenting as in Barcelona, which was so crazy to me because, first of all, I was studying not in my native language, so in English, and I was not used to that in the beginning. I don't really know what I thought the first time we had to present, but I know I was pretty nervous. But I don't know, I don't think I've been like I got nervous every time a little less because I don't know, it kind of sometimes, it's your project and you know what you're doing, and you can always kind of explain it even if it's not your native language. So
exactly.
I don't know, you're the only one that knows what you're talking about anyway, so
I remember the first year was tough when they told us, and I remember coming from high school where like whenever we had a presentation it was like such a big deal and like everyone was dying and I was always so stressed, like super red and like barely could speak. So when they told us in the first year that we had to present every single submission, I was terrified. And then we also were in this mixed group, so there was different girls, different boys, and it was weird because it was people from different classes and no one really know each other. But then the second year I felt like because we're doing it so much, and of course right now I know my group, I know it's all the girls, so I felt more comfortable, and I feel like the more you do it the better you get at it. The finals presentation of last year was quite stressful because we were presenting in the biggest room in the whole school. It's like the place where they do, like the head master of the university do the welcoming talk. When that's also where we did entrance exam 2 years later. I was presenting there, and there's like a stage. Usually they give people mic, and there's this gigantic projector. And it was like a big room and everyone was invited. Everyone from the uni got an email that, hi, second year you're going to be presenting. You're more than welcome to join in. So when we saw that, we were terrified. And there was supposed to be 3 teachers watching that presentation. It was, I think, only 2 at the end, but still it was, 2 completely different teachers that you have different relationship with.
Yeah.
And that was definitely still stressful, but we did it. It was, I think, fine. So I think definitely, over time you get into practice, and I think it's super important for, what we are doing. I think it's super important to learn how to present and how to
Yes.
explain your idea to a client.
In
So
the
I'm
end, that's
definitely glad.
like you have to convince with your you have to convince the client about your
Exactly.
stuff you do, like why is it good and why should you do it, and yeah, so it's a good practice.
Exactly.
Honestly, I also hated presenting. It was the worst in high school. Honestly, I cried every time,
Oh my
like the
God.
night before.
Yeah, it's
And
terrifying.
like when I got to know, like, oh, I have to present everything in front of, like, I mean, it was like when I was still a lot younger. When I started uni, it was like, oh my God, I have to present in front of like these professionals and so many
Yeah.
other students and stuff. But I don't know, it's so crazy how it changes because now I don't know, probably younger me would be already afraid of the final presentation. But I think, I don't know, I'm very proud of myself that I'm not
Yes,
that
definitely.
afraid anymore.
Yes.
I don't
But
know.
as you said, I think it's, you're presenting about your own design. So
Yeah.
it's easier because it's your own work that you need to
Yeah.
present. So I think that's what's making it easier. Do you
Yeah.
also do some printed presentations, or is it mainly digital ones?
It also depends. We do a lot of printed ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we also do a lot of both. Last year we
Okay.
had to have like a complete presentation about everything, and I had to print like the plans, like the full floor plan and the section in A0, which is
Oh, wow.
huge. It's huge.
Oh
It took
God,
like half
wow.
an hour to print.
Wow. Okay,
So,
we're only doing A3 because I know for architect students they're doing A1 panels, multiple A1 panels. So, but we're only doing A3 as well if we're doing prints.
well,
But it's
okay.
mainly for like technical drawings, so we have
Yeah.
like floor plan sections.
But we do a lot
But
of
then
A2 and A1 as well.
okay,
So next week we have to do an A2,
okay.
and I mean A0 is like it was something different. They were
Mm,
external professors, so I mean
okay.
they were architects. They didn't really know the guidelines and
Mm.
stuff. It was very random. But usually it's like A1, A2, or digital. And I mean,
And models?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
models are always required.
Oh, really?
Um, well, for the
Final.
semester project.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
like
okay.
not for every subject, only for this
Mhm.
one. But I
And how
mean,
many subjects do you have per semester?
this semester we have, I think, 3 or 4.
Okay.
Usually it's kind of structured like every subject is their own subject, so every subject has their own project and
Okay.
final project. This semester, I mean, we have our bachelor thesis, which is a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have we also learned Rhino this year, so very excited
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Fun.
Let's see if it's gonna be the same, like combined with our semester project, because we have like a construction class as well, and where we just learn like the craziest construction or technical
Yeah.
details, and it's combined with the semester project this semester, so we have like a one big project and not
Okay.
one small on the side, so
Mm.
that's pretty good.
Okay.
But I mean, the last semesters it's always been a lot of crazy subjects as well, like small ones,
Mm-hmm.
which we only had like 3 or 4 times and had like a small presentation. But this semester and the next semester is super chill. So
Okay, that's good. You can focus on
yeah,
your final. And do you feel like studying interior architecture, not interior design, is giving you somehow more qualifications? Because, to call yourself an interior designer, you do not need, a degree, but then to be an architect, you need a proper degree and qualifications, and sometimes even to pass like a official exam. So do you feel like studying interior architecture gives you a little bit more in depth and a little bit more technical knowledge as well?
Well, it definitely gives you the technical knowledge, but I don't know, it's hard to say, honestly. I don't feel any different. Like, yeah, of course. I think to be to work as an interior architect, you need to be self-employed. You need to do another exam, which you do in the architecture studium course, bachelor.
Yeah, degree.
Mixing German with English here.
No, don't worry.
Yes, so you have to do that afterwards. So you, without it, you cannot do do the buildings. So I don't know. It's hard. I think you can only really tell once you're working.
Yeah, probably.
In the field.
We'll see where we will end up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, last question. Do you know if your teachers are also working, or are they professors, or do you also have teachers that are architects or interior designers?
Well, it depends. Last semester, for example, we had like 2 architects that kind of led the course, which is very interesting because they have like a different approach than the professors. I mean, it's always the professors in the background that organize stuff and like say, oh, you have to teach them this and this, and they have to present this and this at the end. But it was very interesting with last semester because like compared to the semesters before that, because it's been very structured very differently. So it depends, I guess, on the project because they look for different projects for every semester. So yeah, but we also have some professors that are professors only. We also have professors that are working like something different. They don't specifically have to be architects or interior architects. It's very uncommon actually that they're qualified in architecture or interior architecture.
I think most of our teachers in Barcelona are either architects, either interior designers, but also with after studying architecture, because interior design degree is quite new. That's why it's also I feel hard to find interior design degree in English in Europe, at least from the research that I was doing 2 years ago. There was not that many options if you don't consider also UK, of course, but in other countries there's not that many bachelors in interior design. So there's many of our teachers are actually architects, and then just they work as interior designers. Whereas I feel like here in England they did some work before, but now they're just professors mainly from what I know right now. Okay, and now to sum up, I just want to ask you about any future plans that you have, since now you're in your final years. What are you looking for, and what are your future plans?
I'm definitely going to do something abroad. Like now that I've already lived abroad for like 5 months, I'm very keen on doing it again and for even longer. So I'm quite torn between working and doing my master's right after my bachelor's. I mean, currently I'm definitely planning on doing a master's anytime. Like it's definitely on my must do because I feel like for me personally, I think 3 years of interior architecture bachelor's is really like short. I don't, yeah, so I don't know, I want to see where it takes me. That's why I was also thinking about working for some time, so I get to know like the whole field, and maybe something different kind of sparks my eye and I get into a completely different direction. I don't know, maybe I want to go into architecture more into interior design. So definitely want to gain some experience either in Vienna or probably abroad as well. And definitely dreaming of working in Paris or London or Copenhagen, Amsterdam, I don't know,
Very,
somewhere.
very exciting.
Yes, so
Good.
I'm not yet sure what I'm gonna do, but
Any dream interior design file that you wish you could do
and
work
what?
at afterwards? Interior design file, what is like dream interior design project? Is it residential,
Mm, I think, yeah,
hospitality,
hospitality has
boats,
always
planes?
boats and planes. Anything
That is very
luxury
exciting.
is honestly
Good.
my
We
dream.
go. Ask for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good. Very good. Okay, I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very excited for your future journey. Now, before we finish, we got a question, so I'm just gonna quickly answer that. So we got a question from Hannah. Hi. She asked if would you say in London is less intense than in Barcelona? Like in Barcelona, uni takes most of your time, and in London, you can still have a part-time job or other things maybe. For sure. I mean, university in London is based on self-learning. So you have your lectures, your seminars and classes or like workshop, um, but it's only part of your day, small part of your day. So that's why I'm also working a lot right now because I have much more time right now than in Barcelona. Although I think the third and fourth year it's going to be a little bit more flexible for us. We will have classes a bit earlier. They have classes this semester from 8, so they should be done at 11 or 2:30. So in theory, you have the afternoon for yourself now in Barcelona. But still, I feel like interior design course is very intense and it requires a lot of, learning at home afterwards, and like a lot of not even learning because you're not studying much theory most of the time, but physically designing takes a lot of time. So definitely London University, at least for now, I'm on my second week of classes. But for now, I definitely have more time, but also it's more work at home. So we'll see how that goes. But definitely comparing to Barcelona, which is, very, very strict, which I didn't expect. And, it's even more strict than high school. We can't be late, we have to be on time, we have to attend every class. So, it's a big difference, but I hope that helps. Okay, now, thank you everyone so much for joining in and listening to us. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for being my MBS D.A ambassador. I am very, very happy that we did this first MBS D.A talk together. And I hope we talk about some topics that was helpful for others, and hopefully we'll solve some doubts about studying interior design and interior architecture.
And I
So
think
thank you
you can
so much.
always ask us if you need anything. We're
Exactly.
always happy to answer.
Exactly. If there will be any more comments afterwards, if you also rewatching it, we will be answering the comments. So definitely ask if you have any questions. Here you can also see Rebecca's and my social media if you want to join. This I will be posting on the MBS Design Atelier Instagram and our website where you can rewatch this also. So if you will want to know more about us, definitely join us on Instagram and TikTok. And this is it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Rebecca, for having a little chit chat with me.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you also enjoyed it.
Of course,
Well, it
I
was
did.
very nice to speak to you. And
Yes.
well, I will see you again.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.